The high heels. Okay. Wanting high heels, yeah? Or pre-civil rights, right? So your life started to change when you heard Martin Luther King speak, right? Like so many other Americans. Look what he did, right? So I'm curious as to where in South Carolina are you from?
Well, I live in the deep south of Orangeburg, South Carolina.
What?
Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Okay, because we need to know that, right? And how it was coming from, you know, a mixed marriage, right? Being the child, having shame, which wasn't real, right? Self-awareness, and what I'm also interested in, because I see it all the time, you were hungry, but you wouldn't accept food. That's right. Now, right? How many of us have been raised like that? Don't ask for help from anybody. Don't take anything. If you can start to change that, you're going to start to have a better life, right? But it's so ingrained into so many of us. I see it so much all the time. So thank you for that. Sir, come on up. And try to stay to the bullet points. Okay? What does he need in his voice?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My story. My name is Carlos Jones, and I'm at my last year here at Hostos. Through much hurt and pain of addiction and incarceration, my life has been a roller coaster ride. Since I was about 16 years old. The environment I grew up in was filled with much pain and addiction and trauma. All around me spoke to poverty, physically, emotionally, and mentally, as well as spiritually. Life as I knew of it had no purpose. The people I looked to for care, nurture, and support were void of any substance that spoke to what I searched for. So I discovered love, care, support in the streets. The destructive lifestyle and behavior patterns rooted in generational beliefs my mother and father shared the understanding of the life that I was experiencing, addiction and poverty. This idea was passed through generations. As I grew, my life became more and more destructive. I continued for 30 plus years. And these experiences have brought me to this point in my life, Hostos Community College.
So, he's a good writer, isn't he? But we're missing something, aren't we? What are we missing? How did you get here? How did you get here? What made you change from this pattern and this generational pattern, people all around you? What made you change?
A lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah, but a lot of people have pain and suffering.
Okay, so you're asking, right?
I
So
am.
I'm trying to get to the point.
Get to the point.
Right? A lot of pain that are going back and forth to prison, right?
Right?
A lot of ups and downs in my life of addiction,
Right?
right? Right here in the Bronx,
Right?
right? My life was like a win.
Right?
And at some point when I came home in 2014,
Yeah?
right, I said I no longer want that for myself.
See, this is what is so important, right? That's that. You know, he's all over the place, and he's struggling, and he's suffering, and then you can say to yourself, enough is enough. I don't want it anymore. I wish more people could do that. What do you think helped to keep you on the road?
Well, there wasn't much people in my life that was positive, so I did a lot of reading.
Wow.
There
Anybody
was
hearing this?
there was 2 or 3 people that were in my life that I kind of left in my journeys, but they were still there when I came back. There was one organization that really helped me, and that was Ready, Willing, and Able, which is called the Doe Fund. And from there is where they nurtured me. I knew I had a plan before I came out, because reentry starts the day you get arrested. So I started working on that plan the 5th day that I was arrested. And I redefined all my plans as I came out. So when I came out, I touched down at New York City Shelter. Then I went to Ready, Willing, and Able, and that's where my life began all over.
And what kind of books really helped you and changed you?
One of the main books that I read was Man's Search for Meaning.
What a great book. Frankl.
Yeah, Viktor Frankl.
Viktor Frankl, a survivor of Auschwitz, and he started positive psychology,
Yes.
right? Yeah, Viktor Frankl, yes?
That was one book. Ralph Ellison, The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. What a story where the author starts to see how he's prejudiced as well, right? Yes, beautiful.
There's a couple of other books.
Okay, but those are two good ones.
Sure.
So here's your story, how you were able to break a destructive, self-destructive pattern. Enough was enough, and you found books, and you found a group of people who could help you. Bravo to you. That's what I think. Okay. Oh, I try to do boy, girl, just like a little dinner. And what does she need in her voice? I heard you, but I wanted to get them to give you energy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Salam Alamur, came from East Africa, Ethiopia, and Ababa. I moved to US at the age of 27 in 2000 during a heated political shift in my country. When I came, I had nothing, and I had to start all over again due to the fact that my school was displaced. I had no job, no transcript, no place to live. I began my life working as a server in the diner. I was unhappy, but my rent and bills were paid. So I was so grateful for that reason. It was hard to adapt to this new culture, this new country culture, suffering from cultural shock and learning a broader new language. In 2014, I went to apply career training school in order to become a medical administration specialist. I got a job as a unit clerk in a Devita dialysis clinic. I did so well with my strong work ethics that I was promoted and my manager offering me a position that a patient care technician on an extra 3 months training practice. I worked hard for the classes, and then successfully I passed the exam and became a patient care technician licensed person. Once I started working directly with the patient, they informed me that I had a gift to take care of the patients. They encouraging me to return back to school to become a nurse or any medical staff members. I did not believe in myself due to the fact that I went by myself, I live by myself and have hard time to survive. One day, one of the patients gave me a book that it says Gifted Hands. I don't know who it is. Is there anybody know about that book? Like Gifted Hands, written by Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson. That story shifted my life. I become so inspired by those books, by that books. And and also everybody was encouraging me. I decided to return back to school and enroll here in Hostos Community College in order to become RA. I believe that I have so much to offer and will utilize my gifts. Now American is my home, and I will help my people with my better language, understanding, and compassion.
What was so touching for me, thank you so much, that was great, is that, Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor, her mother went to nursing school here at Hostos, and you know how transparent she's been about her father's alcoholism growing up and how it helped to shape her. The more we can really dig in to what has made us who we are and able to shift things, the stronger your story will be. So we have, I think, time for one more, but I also like to close it up. So I want a really easy example of story, right? It's fact. The queen died, then the king died. Story. The queen died, then the king died of a broken heart. 4 words. And it changes everything. As Joan Didion, the writer, says, we tell ourselves stories in order to live. It's a way of connecting to one another. It's a way of understanding one another. We need our stories. Who'd like to go next? We need a boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. Okay, and then, okay, come. But I want to hear you too. I want to hear what happened. We started a little late. Jason's in big trouble. So I want to hear all your stories. And by the way, for being such a great audience, it's so appreciated. Thank you for that. What does he need in his voice?
Thank you, thank you. All right, good morning, and start off. My name is Roberto Zamora. Pretty much as the first young Mexican-American, first generation in the family, born in 1992 here in this country. I would say my childhood life has been a rough start. By the age, just to start it off, by the age of 2, I was actually diagnosed with autism at that time. That kind of actually put me in the rough parts during elementary, middle school, and high school, so I was never that much popular back in the days. But that didn't really stop me from what I was doing. I knew I always would usually get the help from many people, my teachers, especially my counselors, as well as many others that actually pushed me to really get what I needed to do. And I did eventually ended up graduating high school. Then I kind of moved on pretty much towards college. And college was actually another level for me, which I would know that the expectations had to be done on by my own. And I said, if I knew I was able to succeed in high school, then why not? I could also succeed in college. I actually went to Queensborough Community College, did my associates there for criminal justice, with the help of my guidance counselors, my mentors, as well as all my folks that I've actually been towards here in Queensborough. I was able to succeed with a good GPA with a 3.5. I actually did succeed as well with my colleagues as well, got involved as well towards many clubs, as well as a proud member of CCSD. And by the time I actually did graduate, I said I would actually push myself even much more further and even come up with a future goal as well, which was to become a lawyer, because I am very inspired to help other people, towards my family, my folks, my friends, even in school, and the leadership I've been developing throughout my time. Now, actually, I'm going to be graduating next semester with a bachelor's degree.
Okay, wow. So what stood out to you about this story? Yeah, autism, right? Did it stop him? No. Boy, we could use you as a spokesperson, right? It's great. And so, what really drove you?
Me?
Yeah.
I could say
organization, even the friends I get, the support I actually get now these days, I'm pretty well known to the gist of what it's like to now be an independent person.
Extraordinary. People are extraordinary. Never forget that. Thank you. Let's do one more. Okay, come on, because I want to also do takeaways. What are we starting to get from this, the sharing of stories?
The circumstances should not stop us from growing.
Say again?
Circumstances should not stop us from growing.
Yes. As John Allen says, circumstances don't make the man or woman, they reveal them. Really. There's no way we're going to get out of here alive and not have challenging times. And what is always, always why I respect so much CUNY students, Hostos, John Jay, is that you have really, usually overcome quite some difficult times. And this is going to pay off for you in the workplace about why you should be having this job, right? You want to come up? And what does she need in her voice?
I really try to be brief. I grew up in a household of, my mother had 8 children, and she married someone that had 10 children, so approximately about 16 of us in a household at one time. In a very dysfunctional household. Getting real personal, I was molested by my stepfather from the age of 6 until I was 16. I left my mother's home when I was 18 for the first time. I had my son, I got pregnant with my son at the age of 23, and at that time I figured I had to get married because my mother said you have to, in order for you to keep a man in the house, that's the only way you had a home. You had a man in the house. My mother grew up old school and she taught us old school. So I married a guy that was a drug dealer, a drug addict, and very abusive, just like my stepfather. Went through the same patterns as my mother, being abused. Drinking, smoking, I did it all. Some limitations, let me just pull that back. I did something. One of my friends said to me, you look just like your mother when you drink. That was a piercing knife through my heart. And that stopped my drinking. Once I became pregnant, I got pregnant with my son, I decided I didn't want to smoke any longer. I asked God to help me to stop smoking, and He did just that. I relocated to Westchester County to get away from my ex-husband. Me and my son escaped by the skin of our teeth. We escaped. Relocated to Westchester, raised my son on my own with the help of God and the church. I then went back to school at the age of 27 to get my GED. I'm sorry, I backtracked. My mother allowed me to drop out of high school in that 9th grade. I said I didn't want to go back. She said, your life, do what you want. I went to go lay back down. She woke up everybody else and left me there. So I didn't go back to school until I was 27 to get my GED. After obtaining my GED at 28, again, lived in Westchester County, obtained employment, lived from going from the shelter, living to going into permanent housing, obtaining a job, buying a car, raising my son and myself, I decided to go back to college, go to college. I went to Westchester Community College for a year, and I got into a horrible car accident, decided to drop out and raise my son, put my son through school, put my son through college, and now it's my turn.
Second woman, all right? Okay, all right. So, what did you take away from that? Yes.
The same water, the softness of the potato. I mean, that we have softness of the potato, hard with the egg. Like your circumstances don't affect what you're going to make of yourself.
Yeah. Tell me that proverb again.
The same water, the softness of the potato, hard with the egg.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's great. So I just, so there's certain words that are really important. It's called sexual violence that you had as a child and how you overcame it. See, it's what I'm so interested in, like with this gentleman here, is when you can break patterns and they're generational and they run so deep. And it takes such courage and discipline and stamina to break it. But it's done. And she also had a great, she also had a great kicker, didn't she? What was it? Yep. Now it's my turn. That was great. Yes.
I like the fact that she depended on the prayer because she took a lot of courage and a lot of hope. But she depended on it because, just like I said, for people to stop certain activities, like smoking and different things, it's so difficult. And for people to raise children alone and, this is a situation, that takes hope from the prayer.
Yeah. We all come, usually childhoods are not so great because we're under somebody's thumb, right? It's hard. So I want to hear people's takeaways. You all have been fantastic, and listening to the person telling the story is so important. So can you start to shout out to me what your takeaway is from today? What did you learn today? Courage. That your story is important. What else? Never give up. What else? Perseverance. Never too late. It's never too late. It's so fabulous. Yes. What? Yes. How to use your story for leadership. Yes.
Never stop. Never stop what you're doing.
Never stop. Yes.
Even though people have different cultural backgrounds and different backgrounds from us, but we learn from them.
Believe in yourself. What? Believe in yourself. Yeah. What? Yeah, right? Or as Anne Lamont, the writer, says, turn down KFUK radio in your head. Turn it down. Turn it down. And what we can see, too, is how we're so interconnected as human beings. We're unique, but we're all interconnected. And we've all had very hard things happen to us, right? What else? Yeah. Yes, and everyone has a story and everybody deserves to be listened to. What else? Your pace, your path, yeah? What else? Yeah. It's okay to stray from the path. You see, nobody can tell you how to live your life except for you and what your values are. And remember, it is through our hard times, from incarceration to sexual violence as a child. We can change it. We can stop it. And it's very, very powerful. So I really, really bow to all of you in your courage in sharing your stories. I'm going to stay here a little bit. If anybody wants to share any other stories with me, I'm here. But use it. Keep the story you wrote, and you're going to start to make it stronger, shorter, not so meandering, right? So that you can start to use it to get yourself the type of success you want out there. All right? Thank you. Yes, I was going to share my story, Jason.
Your story?
My story, right? Yeah. Well, I think it all started when I was biking with a kayak paddle and turning around and scolding my uncle for going the wrong way, where I had a very traumatic bicycle accident. And so things got real bad for me, real bad. My marriage fell apart. I didn't have really any job. I mean, I was an adjunct professor. And so I had to take this and use this and my fear of being in poverty with my 2 kids. Now I got everybody's attention. See this, Jason? People just love hard times. They love it. Within 2 years, I had gotten 5 different certifications, and I started my own business. And I have such gratitude to be a woman of my age, still going in and talking to people, being who I am, helping them, listening to them, instead of still sitting in my living room and waiting for my husband to come home and love me. I changed it. Bravo to all of you.
So, I'm going to tell you the real story of Dorothy Dobbs' death.
Here we go.
I have to tell it, right? When I first got here, I needed to have speakers to come and speak to the students who were here, and I didn't want to use the traditional folks, which is the folks who work here. They're very nice people, but they're not necessarily the most enigmatic personalities. They don't have all of the wonderful skills that a lot of people that you're going to meet this week have. So I posted on the message board at Columbia University, where I graduated from, to ask for volunteers from my community, I was thinking my own class, to come and speak to you guys from the very beginning. People like me. And the only response I got was from Dorothy.
Hello.
So she called me, and it was not good enough to talk to me on the phone. She said, I need to speak to you in person. Can I come over there and meet with you? And we sort of did. We met in the lounge, and she grilled me. And she convinced me that she had something special and unique that we could present to our students. And over the course of the 10 years that we've been working together, I've given her the flexibility to do a lot of the things that she does very well, and we've actually worked together as well on projects. We've created something called a media advocacy workshop that we've done at this sequence that we've done to regular workshop series as well. The one thing I could say about Dorothy is that if you talk to people who've met her over the course of the last 10 years, they will tell you that she leaves an impression upon them which cannot be removed. Sometimes that is extremely positive, sometimes that is challenging. But for the most part, I think most of the students that have engaged with Dorothy over the course of the years through our leadership program have had a really positive experience and grown from it. So I hope that you guys have had a similar experience with her today. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Get the job interview, make yourself go in. Say, when can we meet? When can we meet? Do that. Do not be afraid to do that.
She was very good. So a couple of things just so that you guys know. For the workshops, I know we're going to ask you to sign the paper quite a few times, but that's how we're going to actually monitor your certificate level. So for every workshop, including the lunch sessions, we're going to send around a sign-in sheet. So please keep track of that and make sure that you sign in on each of those sessions. so that we can accurately give you the right certificate at the end of the session. The other thing is that we agreed with, one of the co-sponsors for this event is the Student Government Association. So you're represented by students here at the college. Many of them are part of the Leadership Academy, some of them are not. But we agreed with them at the end of last semester that we were going to make sure that we promote the SGA scholarships. There are actually 2 SGA scholarships, and they were generous enough to extend the date to encapsulate the entire Winter Workshop series so that many of you can take the opportunity to apply and be eligible. So I think we're going to, who are we calling up? Here's Ileana. Kelvin's going to come up. Kelvin, come on. Give him a round of applause.
So how's everybody doing today, family? That's what I like to hear. So honestly, this is a really, really, really beautiful and well orchestrated event. I personally never partaken beforehand, but you know, honestly, I'm beyond grateful for the opportunity to come here and listen to everybody's stories. As I look at every one of your faces, you know, I look forward to the day that you graduate and you walk down that, wherever we go, Lehman College over here, wherever it's gonna end up. I just wanted to tell you that we extended the SGA scholarship until January 13th, and there's 2. There's a merit base and there's a need base. So I'm gonna read the requirements of each one. So, the merit-based scholarship, right? Student Government Association Merit Scholarship is now available for Hostos students and is earned through academic achievements. Upon eligibility, 15 students will be selected and awarded up to $500. Please note, if nominated as possible, bring your W-9. So eligibility criteria: must maintain a GPA of 3.0, demonstrate a commitment to community service, must obtain a letter of recommendation for either Hostos faculty and staff, work or community service agency with a minimum of 250 words and a maximum of 500 words. Answer one of the following questions. What are you here for? You're here to get paid for your brain, right? You don't want to be stuck at a low-level job for the rest of your life. So take advantage of this. All this knowledge that the people are sharing, don't just sit here and twiddle on your phone. Listen to it, because honestly, this is going to change your life. Also, need-based scholarship. Eligibility: must submit proof of amount due for tuition, have a minimum cumulative GPA of 2.0 with a minimum of 250 words and a maximum of 500 words. And also answer the following. What are the challenges you face as a Hostos student?
You know how to write this.
I was just going to say, exactly. All of you had a beautiful story. Don't sell yourself short. Don't think, oh, just because there's only 15 people that are only going to get into, you're not going to be the one. Don't psych yourself out. Always shoot for the stars. And you know what, honestly, if I had the opportunity to talk about like how everybody else was talking about, when I was 17 years old, I was homeless. And I always told myself that if I ever got the opportunity to, I would come to school. And it took like 5 years for me to get like really like stabilized, but like I knew that I wouldn't take advantage of that opportunity when I came back to school. And you know, so my first semester, right, I knew like I didn't think like a lot of these kids would just take this for granted, because I knew that either this was gonna make or break my life. Like this was the way that I was gonna survive, provide for my family. So first semester, 3.9 GPA, I worked for that. I worked 7 days a week in between school and work, and I had that, right? Not to mention the stresses that I faced outside. Second semester, 3.8, I applied for the SGA. I didn't get in the first time. I was a little bit discouraged, and I had met somebody from the SLA, which is Noelani Park, who introduced me to Jason, and that motivated me to join again, or to apply again, and I got in the third time. Now I'm the newly elected Vice President for Student Affairs and Public Relations. And every time that I go to fight for something new to get put into the school, whether it's my greenhouse initiative, whether it's a fruit juice bar in the school, everything I do is to better our environment for our kids, for our families, for our grandparents, for our parents, whoever you care about in this life. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
so we're gonna work out where we're gonna get you guys over in sections to get some food, and then we're gonna ask you to come back, because Rokia, who's a graduate of Hostos, now studying law at the City College of New York. Studying law, City College of New York, is gonna talk about our Model UN initiative. And one of the things that's really important, and you may not decide that you want to do this, but we're deciding whether or not we're going to do it anymore. And so she's going to take some time and talk about what that means. And I think she's on the cover of their magazine there with her friends. So but let's work out how we get everybody their food, and then we'll have you come back and listen to Rokia. Sound good? Thank you very much.